is the Pngtv Live News Bulletin. I'm Quintina Naime. Papua New Guinea is working very closely with Australia to reduce the numbers of refugees and non-refugees on Manus Island. Since the closure of the Manus Regional Processing Centre at Lombroom on the 31st of October 2017, 559 refugees and non-refugees relocated to camps set up in Lorengau. The refugees and non-refugees are now living at the East Lorengau Refugee Transit Center, a new campsite at Ward 1. Chief Migration Officer Solomon Kentha says discussions with the Australian government is ongoing with a target to migrate all refugees and non-refugees by the end of the year.
This process is ongoing. We have an understanding with the Australian government and we intend to reduce the caseload in Manus as much as possible.
85 refugees have traveled to resettle in the United States over the last 3 months after successfully undergoing the screening process carried out by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
We've had a very positive outcome with the process for resettlement in the United States. This process is independently being dealt with by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. So it's independent of PNG and Australia. They are doing their own checks.
Immigration and Border Security Minister Petrus Thomas says more positive determinations under the resettlement deal are expected in the near future for some of the remaining refugees. And there is a need for housing accommodation for public servants on Daru Island in the South Fly District of Western Province. The shortage of housing is faced by government agencies, including police officers, with most houses run down. There are 42 police officers serving in the town area and 8 officers at the outer stations. Western Province Provincial Police Commander Senki Laki says despite the housing issue, the crime rate is quite low, with only petty crimes common on the island. PPC Laki tells Pngtv Live that they are managing the law and order in the area.
We have petty crimes, stealing, drunk and disorderly, domestic problems, domestic arguments, and all that. Apart from that, Daru is safe.
PPC Lucky reveals that the Daru Correctional Institution can only cater for 20 prisoners. Since taking up his new post as PPC a few weeks ago, he did a major cleanup of the police station and is now looking forward to carrying out operations this year. The Media Council of Papua New Guinea says primitive, close-minded thinking and a general lack of understanding of the role of the media is at the root of the latest attack on the media. This follows the assault of Post-Korea's lay-based journalist Frankie Kapin by officers of the governor for Morobe. The Media Council says for the officers of a provincial governor to intimidate and assault a journalist on unfounded allegations of bias is a shame to the public office to which they report. The council highlights the media does not take sides. Its role is to report on and inform its audience, who are the people of Papua New Guinea, on the performance of its elected leaders. The Media Council calls on Morobe Governor Ginson Saunu to educate his officers that attacking the media or its journalists is not the way to improving the public image of the office of the governor. As representative of the media in PNG, the council calls for an immediate apology from the governor's office and an assurance that no such incidents will be repeated in the future. The Media Council commends Kapin for reporting the incident to police and would like to call on the police in Ley to ensure justice is swiftly served. 8 individuals who have taken part in the Human Development Institute's personal viability courses will now start their own home-based teaching in their communities. The initiative has received praise from the Institute, which launched the HDI Homeschool program yesterday. Gregory Avira reports.
The institution's personal viability courses continues to draw in more participants. This week saw a workshop held in its main training center in Port Moresby on how to work smarter. The event also saw the launch of the Institute's approach to share the knowledge with those in communities who are not able to attend the training. Ridia Nenewa, who works at the Salvation Army's House of Hope, believes everyone deserves to know how to become viable and successful in life. She initiated the concept of home training, which has now received support from HDI.
I've tried that in last year for 3 times and it worked out and I've seen the evidence of it. So I came and spoke to Papa about it. And today on the last launching day, I was so privileged because others here with the training colleges have also taken up this training, informal training or homeschool to take back to their provinces.
The name of my PV homeschool is Uncle Paul owns HDI PV homeschool.
7 others have also joined Vidya to start up their own home schools. While this will be conducted using their own time and resources, HDI has chipped in to provide startup capital of 10 kina for each individual that will be attending the home schools.
For the people that I've been serving and they've seen the evidence of it, putting food on the table for their family, and at the same time they are now excelling in their marketing and all, etc.
Meantime, the Institute will be conducting its first set of personal viability training for this year starting on Monday. Gregoria Vera, Pngtv Live.
You're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv News. Madang Town is expected to see much needed access to services under the leadership of MP Brian Kremer. Mr. Kremer plans to reshape how development has been processed in PNG. Belinda Cora reports.
What we're doing in Madang, or planning to do, and as a policy act.
The MP says this will see the building of new structures all the way into communities and clans. This idea was the platform that Mr. Kremer used to win the 2017 election.
And so when I contested, I mapped every single clan in my district. I knew every clan from every village and who were the clan leaders. And then I tapped into the churches, every church, who was the church leader, women's rep, youth rep, law and order rep. So I went down, I worked within those structures, and then I built community structures out of it.
Mr. Kremer also plans to use this structure into developing districts and communities as well.
10 million DSIP, I have no interest to spend that money on any projects I want. I am going to push that right down into the wards. Once these structures are built from the community to the ward development committee, then they will be funded fully from the 100% from DSIP. So some wards receive 500,000, some wards receive 300,000, depending on the population. So we've already established a project office. It's called the Ward Project, Ward Administration and Reform Development.
He believes from these structures, his people in the district may not need the government or himself for funding.
Will become obsolete. I can go in and fight. Members of Parliament are supposed to go after policy issues and legislation. That's our primary function. But because of the failure of the public service due to political interference over the years, there's been no service delivery at the community level.
Teaching phonics is vital for early childhood learning. Phonics helps children understand sounds that letters make to enable them to decode and read English words that are new to them. Publisher of phonics, teaching and learning materials, Bilum Books Phonics outlines the need for phonics to be taught to Papua New Guineans at a young age to improve the quality of education. Bilum Books Phonics has been publishing and facilitating trainings for teachers in the country for 2 years now. The publisher also assists the government with phonics teaching and learning materials. It also facilitates training for elementary school teachers on how to use these materials under the new standard-based curriculum. Founder of Bilum Books Phonics, Ray O'Farrell, explains if children understand the sounds that letters make and learn a basic vocabulary of 300 words, then they can read and write at the basic level.
Now that's what the new syllabus aims to do. And our job as publishers is to produce material produce books that will make it easy for teachers to teach the new syllabus. So Bilum Books Phonics, we believe, will make it easy for teachers to teach phonics. Our Bilum Books Elementary Dictionary will make it easy for teachers to teach the common words.
But you and I collectively want to change the narrative for our children and the next generation that comes through.
Bilum Books Phonics is also working with Digital PNG Foundation in collaboration with the 4L Training and Consultancy to facilitate training for teachers at community learning centers under the CLC TISA program. It also supplies the phonics teaching and learning materials for the 43 community learning centers established in the nation's capital, Central and Gulf Province. In preparation for the 2018 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, the Papua New Guinea Immigration and Border Security is undergoing a makeover to welcome the APEC visitors. These include new uniforms for the 53 staff at the international airports throughout the country, including Tokwa in Kokopo, Geni in Alotau, Hagamuga in Mount Hagen, and in Port Moresby. PNG will have over 10,000 APEC visitors coming into the country for the summit and lead-up meetings throughout the year. Chief Migration Officer Solomon Kentha says the new uniforms for the Immigration and Citizenship Authority staff is vital, as immigration is the first point of contact for any foreigner before they enter the country.
So it's important that the first impression a foreigner gets is how we showcase ourselves, how we officers of the government present ourselves to them.
There are dedicated lanes set up at the Port Moresby International Airport to cater for APEC visitors.
We have the APEC business travel card lane and also a specific lane that is going to be dedicated for the senior officials from APEC countries when they arrive.
Kentha highlights the changes happening in immigration with plans for this year, including changing the image of the organization to empower the officers to perform in their duties.
So immigration is prepared. We are looking forward to receiving our guests from APEC countries who would be coming in the next couple of days. And we will also be working very closely with our counterpart agencies at the airport, the National Airports Corporation, Customs, NACIA, and also our airline partners.
He reveals the challenges faced include not having enough space at the Port Moresby International Airport to cater for a large number of visitors traveling in at one time.
We have the challenge of managing the regular commercial flights that are coming in, passenger flights, and we also have the flights that are bringing in APEC delegates. So this is something we will work around with our partners at the airport to see how well we can manage the different guests that will be arriving.
The first APEC lead-up event is the APEC Senior Official Meeting, scheduled from the 24th of February to the 9th of March. The opposition's main role is to question the government of the day and hold them accountable to the public. This is what the current 26 members of the alternative government will continue to pursue in principle. Belinda Cora reports.
On principle, we said no.
According to Medang MP Brian Kramer, they have agreed not to move over to government.
We all come from different backgrounds. Yes, we all have different ideals, different ideas of how we want to achieve certain things while in office. Yeah, but the commonality is on the principles that we would stay in opposition, we wouldn't join the government.
Mr. Kramer says this is vital for all members of opposition and remains a focus even on the floor of Parliament.
Example, so me coming out and expressing a conversation, publishing a conversation that was had in my office with a member that defected. Some might necessarily agree with that, and they've expressed their view. And I said, it's simple. If you come and you had a conversation with me and you are honest, then you have nothing to worry about. It's when you tell lies, then you risk being exposed.
Mr. Kramer had run under the Pangu Party banner during the 2017 election. However, following differences and movements of its MPs to government, the 4 Pangu members that remained in opposition following the Kokopo camp will now come under the all-new party called the Allegiance.
You're watching Pngtv News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv News. More of the upcoming artists and bands are choosing to release singles instead of full albums. This is due to the increased practice of music piracy and unauthorized file sharing at present, which discourages artists from recording and releasing albums in the country. Gregory Avira reports.
For some, singing is done as a hobby. But for the most serious, this art can be used to earn a little income and promote their talent. Music production takes time and costs money. While most of the cost, such as recording fees, is covered by the artist, making a good return continues to be a challenge. The increased amount of unauthorized file sharing and piracy remains a main factor, which has also seen artists being discouraged to record full albums.
I want the current music industry, I realize I'm better more release more singles, na heavy more gigs because suppose me release all albums, but like piracy and big plus something now, so or like all months I had to buy more CD, so also less. Om man babae member go duplicate mas benim na salilol.
One talk now.
Yeah, one talk now. Yeah.
Girlfriend.
So release all singles chol na make all gigs na kasi money lo disla.
Without albums to sell, artists have to resort to promoting their singles and hope to score a good number of live performances to earn something. But landing a live performance is tough with the competition, and artists and bands must be at their best.
It really depends on the songs that you make and as an artist or a group. Like right now, so you have to be on top of the food chain or some kind of chimol giga. So the more songs, the more hits you make, you can plan the gig and yeah, or how you perform.
While such challenges exist, the boys from Stagaja are firm on doing what they do best. With a couple of songs currently being produced and planned performances for this year, the group promises more for their fans.
I just look at friend the music now because like kind style mulman oklo make him, so I just study him lilik past them na.
Like everyone's sounding the same too.
Try to introduce something new. Yeah.
Gregory Avira, Pngtv Live.
Into sports news, after 4 years competing and training abroad, Muay Thai fighter Jonathan Tuhu has returned home. Accompanying him on his visit are owners of the Fight Centre Brisbane, who will be travelling to Mendy, Southern Highlands to promote the sport. Gregory Avira reports.
The years away from home has seen Jonathan Tuhu training and competing in various Muay Thai and kickboxing international fights. Better known by his fight name, the Black and Gold, the young 26-year-old has had 47 professional fights with 36 wins, 10 of which coming from knockouts. Now he has returned home to spread the art of Muay Thai and kickboxing.
I was thinking that was like a good opportunity for you to back at home in the village, because we don't have to look only in the city, because in the village there are many talented youths in the village. It's good that we bring something back to village, like sports development, so that it can boost the morale of youths back in the village.
Tu currently fights under the Fight Centre Brisbane, owned and operated by fellow fighter Ben the Blade Johnson and James Javi. The pair are accompanying Tu on an 8-day visit to his home in the Southern Highlands.
Go out to visit his village. We're taking some equipment so that the youth in his village can train and provide some opportunity for them if they want to learn some martial arts. You know, perhaps maybe one day it's hopefully if they train they can get some international opportunity. You know what I mean? Obviously there's a lot of training, but yeah, it gives them something to strive towards.
The success of Jonathan at the international scene has exposed the potential that the country can offer, not only in this sport. This is a potential that Tu's coach, a fighter himself, knows can be tapped into.
You know, you look around, everyone's naturally gifted in terms of athleticism. Everyone's very, you know, you look around, people are strong here. So and there's a reason why rugby league scouts are here, the talent scouts from other sporting codes come here to look at the people from Papua New Guinea, because genetically you guys are gifted, you know. So for us to come over here and see how, you know, train with you guys, you know, we're hoping to see big things.
The group departed today for the Southern Islands and will return next weekend, and may host training clinics in Port Moresby if time permits and based on requests before travelling back to Brisbane. Gregory Avira, Pngtv Live.
The Hebo PNG Barramundis are preparing for the most important tournament in their recent history, the Cricket World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe in the coming weeks. Barramundis captain Asad Vala says it won't be easy, but as a group, they are looking forward to the qualifiers. Vala says it means a lot to to playing in the World Cup qualifiers, and they have worked really hard and given themselves an opportunity to achieve something special as a group. With the top 8 countries in the world already qualified on the basis of their ranking, there are only 2 spots up for grabs. PNG will be battling 8 other teams for those 2 spots. Valerie reveals it will be a great feeling to be able to qualify for the World Cup, as it's every cricketer's dream to play in a World Cup and playing against the best players in the world. The team has traveled to Brisbane to prepare for the World Cup. Vala says training has been tough and they are working really hard and trying to prepare the best they can to give themselves the best opportunity at the qualifiers. While PNG Rugby League fans await the 24th of February when our very own SP Hunters take on NRL giants Brisbane Broncos, major sponsor SP Brewery has again reminded the old and new to sustain the success they had endured this year. Belinda Cora reports.
Following the announcement of the 29 men's squad last month by super coach Michael Marum, he is adamant to make sure the team puts up a good performance with a new combination, while at the same time give new players a chance to build on their skills in this much sought-after sport and season.
At the top of the grandstand.
Last night was set aside for sponsors, supporters, media partners and government representatives to come together and meet the defending champions of the 2017 season, and they were impressed. While commending the team for an exciting 2017 season and welcoming the new and old players, Deputy Chairman of the SP Hunters, Tyrion McManus, says the role of the coach this year is to comfort the troubled and trouble those who are too comfortable.
In 2018, the SP Hunters will be looking for sustained success. But in 2018, the SP Hunters will become the hunted. Every other team will want to knock us off.
The new additions to the team are Baundo Abba Jr., Bobby from the Enga Miox, Ila Alu and Dilbert Isaac from the Egma Guriers and Enga Miox, Edena Gebi, PRL, Brendan Gotuno, NCDC Vipers and Egma Guriers, Patrick Moria, NCDC Vipers, Clyde Name, PRL, Junior Rao and Mackenzie Ye, Hella Wigman, and Charlie Simon and John Andy Lay Tigers, including Julius Yakopa from the Mendi Muruks. Captain Ase Boas was not present last night due to a family emergency. Forward Willie Minoga is confident with the lineup for this year and also confident that fans will not be let down.
So we believe was more about Sabbath mi plan mi plan yang bawa magi plan start bawa Sabbath more. You know that mi plan Sabbath each other bawa play best year bro mi plan.
The SP Hunters will go head-to-head against the Brisbane Broncos next week Saturday at the National Football Stadium. Tickets are still on sale with gates to open at 11:30 a.m.
And that's the Pngtv News and Sports. From myself and the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.